stories could be
Okay. Cool. Let's see how this goes. So basically, what I wanted to do today is I just wanted to jump in and try out a couple of things that have to do with the that have to do with making UI in Unreal Engine. Let's see. Yeah, so basically I wanted to make a tutorial on a couple of UI things that I think are cool. So I'm just thinking about trying some of the stuff out and see how it feels when recording it. So let's jump into it. I'm in Unreal Engine 5, and I'm just gonna make myself an environment, an empty environment here. Making a user interface. So I'm just gonna start by getting something on the screen. So basically I'm thinking about I want to do basically what I want to do is I'm gonna do a macro animation that kind of populates a list of kind of widgets, buttons. But let's just start by getting something on the screen. So here we go. And I'm gonna put this into my level blueprint, create widget. Like so. Bit of this and that to viewport, Here we go. And yeah, so if everything works as expected, I should be seeing the text block here. Okay, cool. So I'm basically gonna be just trying stuff out. So this might not be coherent what I'm doing. So I'm gonna start by making a vertical box here, and I'm going to make another widget here, and I'm just gonna make this is gonna be my text text field. It's not good enough name for it. Text entry. Okay, so this is going to be a border that's going to contain text, and I want the border to be let's get rid of the padding here. I'm going to make the border a little bit see-through. Yeah, no, not the content of it. I'm going to make the border itself a little bit see-through and have it black. I'm going to set this to full screen this. I'm going to set this to desired so I can see the size, and then get rid of the padding. And then we add some new padding around it, like so. Yeah, okay, this is probably what I want. So this is my value here. Cool. Then save the level. There's going to be a time where it's going to want me to save the level. Okay. So I'm gonna get rid of this here, and I'm gonna drag in my text entry here. I'm gonna put it into the vertical box. So now I'm gonna lay out the vertical box. I'm going to make it fill from top to bottom, and I'm gonna make it size to content. So anytime that we get something in here, it's gonna look like this. Okay, so now we have a little bit of this. So first I'm gonna make it so that I want to make an in animation that kind of happens like not linearly, but based on a curve. So I'm gonna mark this vertical box as the content caps. I kind of like using variables in caps for some reason. Right. So first I'm gonna do the first thing that I'm gonna do is we're gonna make let's just start writing some of the code that we need. We're gonna do create widget. It's gonna have the text entry. I know I have it selected in the background, so that's why it's there. I'm gonna do add to. It's gonna get added to the content here. So this logic just adds a single entry into the box. And I also kind of like it when I'm working like this. This allows me to have stuff in it, so I have some content in it. So the first thing that happens is it's gonna get cleared. It's gonna get cleared out. Okay, then let's save all of this and let's switch over to this window. Okay, so we have one entry here called this is my value, and if we change this into a for loop, like so, last index just gonna be 4. We should get 4 entries into it. Yeah, or 5 entries because we start at 0. Cool. But this is not what I wanted to do. So I want them to pop in one at a time. And I'm going to do this with and this is going to be the subject of the tutorial that I want to try to make. I'm going to go in and I am going to create a macro here. And I'm gonna do call it slowly add to widget to content. Okay, and we're gonna do an input. This is gonna be an executable node, and this is gonna be an executable mode. So we call this in, and we're gonna call this each out, and I'm going to call this finished. So the idea is we're going to have our macro here. We're going to start it. It's going to run every time that it runs, any time that it does something, it's going to trigger the each out, and once it's finished, it's going to be finished. So the simplest way probably is we're gonna do this. So we need a counter. Definitely need a counter. So I'm gonna add a counter and give it an integer. Int. Go. Okay. So every time that this runs, and I'm gonna say number of children. So we're gonna say that if the counter is less than the number of children, and we're gonna make sure that the number of children here is now we actually don't have to do this as a variable. We can do this as an input. It's probably better. Do this as an input, and we call this count. No, this is going to be number of children. So if the counter is less than the number of children, and the counter starts at 0, we do delay, and then we do increment, and we do each out. But if we go. If we do, if it's less than or equal, let's just try this out. And I'm gonna say it's gonna be finished like so. Okay, so basically this is supposed to run. Let's give this 1 second here. And I'm gonna add a print statement. So this is why I'm doing this first as part of the, I'm just trying this out, like not really recording the video. I'm figuring out how to do this. So I'm gonna do I'm gonna do number of children, I'm going to say 5, and each out I'm going to print hello, and once it's finished I'm gonna print I'm done, and each out. Here we go. Let's see. So this, if this works, this is gonna run 5 times and print hello every second. Each out, and it only did it once because we want to do, I think this is the way we do it. We run it like this and like this. This is the kind of the cool thing, if I'm right, that we can do here. Okay, let's see if this works. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so and then it's done. Okay, so basically what we've done is we've created this macro, and this macro runs 10 times, and it creates this this really interesting kind of async. Yeah, it basically with a delay node, it creates these async tasks, and we can use these async tasks to actually do our logic. So let's just to make sure that this works. So every time that we run it, we want to add an entry to the child box here. So we go here. This is my value, this is my value, my value, my value. And then it's done. It will, yep. Cool. All right, so what I wanted to do now is I was gonna make it so, like, that was kind of the cool thing that I wanted to do. I was gonna make it so that the, I was going to make it so that we follow a curve. So right now you can see that this is being added in a pretty linear, like the speed of this is linear. So it's like 1, 1, 1, 1. But I want this to increase in speed. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to make a curve. And that's done under generic, so miscellaneous curve. This is going to be a float curve. Increase speed. Okay, and I'm just gonna make a really simple curve here. It's gonna be from value 0 and 0, and then it's gonna be from value 1 to 1. So now we have like a curve like this, and I'm going to make it so that it starts off really fast and then it slows down after a while. Okay, so now we have the curve. We can now go in and add the curve. That's a variable here. My curve, load curve. I think, was this the right one? No, it's this one here. Object type. Okay, and we link it here. All right, so basically what we can do is, now we're going to see how bad I am at math, and I'm going to take the number of children and I'm going to divide it into the counter. So I want to see how far, like I basically want to normalize this. Like I want to get the how far, like a percentage, how far we've gone. So we take the counter. I'm just gonna start doing random things because this is why I'm practicing. I wonder So what this is gonna do might be a divide by 0, 0. Yeah, does it? So let's move this to be faster. Okay, so it prints out 0 every time. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so actually I should probably think about this. Okay, so I'm gonna take the bigger number and I'm gonna divide the bigger number into the smaller number. I'm going to Google how to do percentages because this is where I am now. How to get a percentage number. Divide the number. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to take the counter and I'm going to divide. Is it this? Where's this? Or does it have to be a float maybe? Yeah, let's to float. And then we do to float. And then we divide, take the counter, no, the other one, take this and divide it by this. And press play and we see that it's 0, 0. It's actually interesting, it only runs once. Why does it only run once? Ah, right, because we have it in the wrong spot in the loop. So this needs to be a part of our loop so that this actually runs. Cool. Like so. Doink. And yeah, so this is giving me wrong numbers. So let's flip this. And yeah, here we go. 0. So we get, there's a 20% increment every time. All right. So now what we can do is I can have this here and like so. Okay. And something like this. Okay, so I can now, and I'm not going to make a new variable, a float variable here, and this is going to be total time. And basically what I want to do is I want to get my curve. I'm going to get float value at time. And I'm get this number here. So this is going to start being 0 at the beginning. And then this is going to be, yeah, it's going to start at 0 and then end at 1. And that's going to go on our, with our curve. I'm going to read the curve, get the float value here. And then I'm going to say the total time should be divided into the number of children. The number of children, which is going to give us the normalized time. And then I'm going to multiply this by the float value here. And let's see what happens. Yeah, okay, so the total time being 2 seconds, so that's just 5 seconds. So okay, so this is starting off really fast, but I wanted it to be, let's say if we do 2 seconds. Yeah, it's kind of doing what I wanted. The 1 second. Yeah. It's hard to see. Okay. But I think this is still, it's doing what we want. Let's fix some of this blueprint stuff here. This is the same variable, so we can get rid of this. This is also the same variable. This can go here and here. And this can go all the way here, I guess. Cool. Okay. So I think we have a version of this that I like, but I think, yeah, okay. So so let's just see what happens. I'm gonna try to do this like as fast and just as randomly as possible, or maybe not randomly, but I want this to be, yeah, I want to see how this works before I make the actual video. So I'm gonna make an intro animation here, and I'm just gonna do let's see how we do it. Let's find the opacity. Opacity is supposed to be here. Render opacity here. Okay, so add a keyframe. Dock and layout. So we add a track. Let's go here again. Find the opacity. Here, render opacity. We put a keyframe here. Let's say another keyframe here, and then we go and change this keyframe to be 0. So if we run this, this is supposed to be 0. Yeah, so there's a bit of an intro animation here. So then what we'll do is we'll play the intro animation when the when we create the widget, and let's see how this looks. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, okay. So this isn't really, I guess the problem here is that this isn't really connected together. See here. Yeah, this isn't really connected together. So how do we do that? This was kind of my idea with this. So we can easily do this automatically. We can make an animation. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do this on the tick instead. So let's create a variable here, and let's call it fade in duration. Call it a float. Have it a float, and let's expose this on spawn here. So what I wanted to do is, there is this delay that's happening here. I think if we feed this information into the widget, that could be kind of cool. So each fade in delay, but this kind of has to happen before then. Yeah. So we move the delay to here, and we increment. Oh. So we increment after the delay, and we delay after the output. So it does like this and this and this. Yeah, I always kind of like doing things like these. This is you can get into so much trouble doing this, but you can make some really cool effects with it. So we start by triggering the exit logic. Yep, here we go. And then let's update it so that if we refresh this, we get the fade in time. So each fade in time, so we get the fade duration here. And just to take this here, we're gonna add this. How do we do this? That is a good question. I'm actually not sure. So I can do a timeline. No, that's not a good idea. So I need a timer. I need to tick. Yeah, okay. So I know how to do this. So we're gonna make a small timer in here. We're gonna call current time, and we're gonna add current time to the delta time, and we're gonna set the current time. And this is gonna start at 0, and then we're gonna say we do something. Do something while the fade duration is less than or equal than the current time, like so. So now we have a logic that runs this, but then the trick is going to be to take the let's just get rid of the intro animation here, and let's set the opacity to 1 again. Never find the opacity here. Background border goes here, and then I'm gonna do alert. No, I'm gonna do set opacity, set render opacity, and I'm going to lerp between the fade duration. So it's gonna be current time and the fade duration. We go between we go between 0 and the fade duration, with current time being alpha. So this is probably going to work. So while this is happening, while this is true, yeah, I think it's probably gonna work. Can't see why it wouldn't. Okay, nothing happens. So let's see if this actually runs ever. Okay, fade duration. Can't even see it. So we go here. Yeah, each fade delay is not being output. Okay, so it's happening in inverse. That's kind of cool. Yeah, okay. So so what's happening now is that this is so we spawned it. Like in this case, we should probably spawn all of them at the same time and just do the different fades. So if we do that, we just skip the delay. Yeah, so now we kind of have the effect that I was that I'm looking for, but it's inverse. So when we're getting the float value here, I think the easiest thing is just to flip the curve actually. So we start with 1, no, at 1, value 1, and then we end with value 0, and we fix the curve to be like this, like so. It's kind of doing what we're looking for. It isn't. I'm gonna put this in the center. It's cooler in the center. So maybe we need to start this at 0. So current time and fade in duration. The fade in duration gets set at start, and then we go from 0 to fade in duration. And current time is going to be the alpha, and when the fade in duration, yeah, I'm not sure why this isn't working. Render opacity. Maybe this is it. Yeah, okay. So yeah, something is just happening in the wrong order. Okay. Interestingly enough, so they do all get, like, I don't think they all get spawned right away though. Let's see. Okay. There's no delay anymore, so they should all just get spawned right away. And then we go here, we can see, okay, they all get spawned instantly, and I'm done should just be, yeah, written right away. So they all get spawned, and then they have different levels of fade in. Yep. And do it faster. Yeah. So probably want them not to start right away. I probably want them to be off. Yeah, let's try that out. So instead of doing it like this, we just do, the moment that this is done, we set it to 1. So they're going to be off until, yeah. So they start off slowly, and let's say, still, like, this is still wrong. Right. So yeah, I think this is probably as far as I want to take this right now. I just wanted to try this out and see if I can work through this. But you can kind of see what I'm going for here. So hopefully I'll jump in on again with the next time that I work on this, and as you can see, I'm trying to make I'm basically trying to make a tutorial where we do something cool like this. But yeah, this is pretty fun. I hope